Benefits derived from seeing and hearing. Chapter 12. At that time, the world-honored one emitted hundreds of, thousands of, millions of great rays of light from the opening at the crown of his head. They were the white ray, the great white ray, the auspicious ray, the great auspicious ray, the jade ray, the great jade ray, the purple ray, the great purple ray, the blue ray, the great blue ray, the azure ray, the great azure ray, the red ray, the great red ray, the green ray, the great green ray, the gold ray, the great gold ray, the celebration cloud ray, the great celebration cloud ray, the thousand-wheeled ray, the great thousand-wheeled ray, the jeweled wheel ray, the great jeweled wheel ray, the solar disk ray, the great solar disk ray, the lunar disk ray, the great lunar disk ray, the palace ray, the great palace ray, the ocean cloud ray, the great ocean cloud ray. After emitting such rays of light from the opening at the crown of his head, he spoke in subtle and wonderful sounds to the great assembly of gods, dragons, the rest of the eightfold division, humans, non-humans and others. Hear me today, in the palace of the Trayastrimsha heaven, as I praise Earth-store Bodhisattva, telling of his beneficial deeds, of inconceivable events, of the matter of his transcendence to sagehood, of the circumstances of his certification to the 10th ground, and of the situation leading to his being irreversible from Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. As that was said, a Bodhisattva Mahasattva named contemplator of the world's sounds arose from his seat in the assembly, knelt on both knees, and with palms together, said to the Buddha, World-honored one, Earth-store Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, is replete with great compassion, and pities beings who are suffering for their offenses. In thousands of, millions of worlds, he creates thousands of, millions of transformation bodies. Through the strength of his meritorious virtues, and inconceivable awesome spiritual strength, I have heard the world-honored one, and the numberless Buddhas of the 10 directions praise Earth-store Bodhisattva, unanimously agreeing that, even if all the Buddhas of the past, present, and future were to speak of his meritorious qualities, they could never finish describing them. Upon hearing the world-honored one tell the great assembly that he now wants to praise Earth-store Bodhisattva's beneficial deeds, and so forth, I am beseeching the world-honored one to praise the inconceivable events pertaining to Earth-store Bodhisattva for the sake of beings of the present and future, and to cause the gods, dragons, and the rest of the eightfold division to gaze in worship and attain blessings. The Buddha replied to the Bodhisattva, contemplator of the world's sounds, you have great affinity with the Saha world. If gods, dragons, men, women, spirits, ghosts, or any other beings who are suffering for offenses within the 6 paths hear your name, see your image, behold you, or praise you, they will definitely become irreversible on the unsurpassed way. They will always be born among people and gods, and there experience wonderful bliss. When the effects of their causes come to maturity, they will encounter Buddhas, who will give them predictions. You now are replete with great compassion and pity for beings, for gods, dragons, and the rest of the Eightfold Division. Listen as I discuss events involving the inconceivable benefits bestowed by Earth Store Bodhisattva. Listen attentively. I will discuss it for you. The contemplator of the world's sounds said, "So be it. World-honored one. I will be pleased to hear." The Buddha told the Bodhisattva, contemplator of the world's sounds, in worlds of the present and future, gods whose heavenly blessings are ending may be manifesting the 5 signs of decay, indications that they may be about to fall into evil paths. When those signs appear, if those gods, whether male or female, see Earth Store Bodhisattva's image, or hear his name and gaze at him, or bow once to him, their heavenly blessings will thereby increase. They will experience great happiness, and will never have to undergo retributions in the 3 evil paths. How much more will that be the case for those who, upon seeing and hearing the Bodhisattva use incense, flowers, clothing, food, drink, jewels, and necklaces as gifts and offerings to him, the meritorious virtues, blessings, and benefits they gain will be limitless and unbounded. Moreover, contemplator of the world's sounds, in the worlds in the present and future, when beings in the 6 paths are on the verge of death, if they can hear the name of Earth Store Bodhisattva, even the sound of it passing through their ears only once, such beings will never have to endure the sufferings of the 3 evil paths again. How much more will that be the case if the parents and other relatives use the houses, wealth, property, jewels, and clothing of such people who are on the verge of death to commission the carving or painting of images of Earth Store Bodhisattva? If those sick people have not yet died, their relatives can try to help them see, hear, and understand that their houses, jewels, and so forth have been used for the carving or painting of images of Earth Store Bodhisattva. If those people's karmic retributions were such that they should have to undergo severe sickness, then with such merit, they can quickly be cured, and their lifespans prolonged. If those people's retributions were such that their lives should end, and in response to obstacles, due to offenses and karma, they should fall into the evil destinies, then with such merit they can, when their lives end, be born among people or gods, and there enjoy extremely wonderful bliss. All their obstacles, due to offenses, will dissolve. Moreover, contemplator of the world's sounds Bodhisattva, in the future men or women may have lost their fathers, mothers, brothers, or sisters, while still an infant, or as a child of 3, or 5, or under 10 years of age. As adults, such people may think about those parents and other relatives, not knowing into what paths, or worlds or heavens, they have been born. Suppose such people are able to sculpt or paint images of Earth Store Bodhisattva, or to gaze upon and worship him once, Suppose they can continue their worship without retreating, so that for 1 through 7 days they gaze in reverence upon seeing his image and make offerings upon hearing his name. Then if such people's relatives had fallen into bad paths and were destined to remain there for many eons, those relatives will quickly gain release, be born among people or gods, and experience supremely wonderful bliss. That will happen because of the meritorious virtue generated by their sons, daughters, brothers, or sisters, who carved or painted images of earth store Bodhisattva, and then gazed upon and worshipped them. If such people's relatives had already been born among people or gods on the strength of their own blessings, and were already experiencing supremely wonderful bliss, then upon receiving that additional merit, their causes pertaining to sagehood will increase, and they will experience limitless bliss. If such people are able to behold and worship images of earth store Bodhisattva single-mindedly during 3 weeks, reciting his name a full 10,000 times, the Bodhisattva may then manifest a boundless body and describe to those people the realms into which their relatives have been born. Or in their dreams, the Bodhisattva may manifest great spiritual power and personally led them to those worlds to see their relatives. If they can further recite the Bodhisattva's name 1,000 times a day, every day for 1,000 days, the Bodhisattva will send the ghosts and earth spirits in the vicinity of such people to guard and protect them for their entire lives. In this world, their clothing and food will be abundant, and they will have no suffering from sickness or other causes. No accidents will occur in their households, much less affect them personally. Finally, the Bodhisattva will rub the crowns of their heads and bestow predictions upon them. Moreover, contemplator of the world sounds Bodhisattva. Good men or good women in the future may want to practice great compassion in rescuing and taking across beings, may want to cultivate unsurpassed Bodhi, and may want to leave the triple world. Those people may see earth store Bodhisattva's image, hear his name, and in their hearts take refuge with him. They may use incense, flowers, clothing, jewels, food and drink to make offerings, while beholding and worshipping him. Such good people's wishes will quickly be realized, and they will never have any further obstructions. Moreover, contemplator of the world sounds Bodhisattva. In the future, good men and women may want to fulfill hundreds of, thousands of, millions of vows, and to succeed in as many undertakings in both the present and future. They need only take refuge with, gaze upon, worship, make offerings to, and praise images of earth store Bodhisattva. In such a way, their vows and goals can all be realized. Moreover, they may hope that earth store Bodhisattva, being endowed with great compassion, will always protect them. In dreams, the Bodhisattva will rub the crowns of their heads and bestow predictions upon them. Moreover, contemplator of the world's sounds Bodhisattva, good men and women in the future may have high regard for the great vehicle sutras, and make the inconceivable resolve to read them, and to recite them from memory. They may then encounter a bright master, who instructs them, so that they may become familiar with the texts. But as soon as they learn them, they forget them. They may try for months or years, and yet still be unable to read or recite them from memory. Because those good men and good women have karmic obstructions from past lives that have not yet been dissolved, they are unable to read and memorize sutras of the great vehicle. Upon hearing Earth Store Bodhisattva's name, or seeing his image, such people should, with deep respect and honesty, state their situation to the Bodhisattva. In addition, they should use incense, flowers, clothing, food and drink, and other material objects they enjoy to make offerings to the Bodhisattva. They should place a bowl of pure water before the Bodhisattva for 1 day and 1 night. Afterwards, placing their palms together, they should state their request and then, while facing south, prepare to drink the water. As the water is about to enter their mouths, they should be particularly sincere and solemn. After drinking the water, they should abstain from the 5 pungent plants: wine, meat, improper sexual activity, false speech, and all killing and harming, for 1 to 3 weeks. In dreams, those good men and good women may then see Earth Store Bodhisattva manifesting a boundless body and anointing the crowns of their heads with water. When they awaken, they may be endowed with keen intelligence. Upon hearing this sutra but one time, they will eternally remember it and never forget or lose a single sentence or verse. Moreover, contemplator of the world's sounds Bodhisattva, in the future there may be people whose food and clothing are insufficient, who find their efforts thwarted, who endure much sickness or misfortune, whose families are not peaceful, whose relatives are scattered, who are accident-prone, or who are often startled in their sleep by dreams. Upon hearing Earth Store's name and seeing his image, such people should recite his name a full 10,000 times, with extreme sincerity and respect. Those inauspicious circumstances will gradually disappear, and they will gain peace and happiness. Their food and clothing will be abundant, and even in their dreams, they will be peaceful and happy. Moreover, contemplator of the world's sounds Bodhisattva, in the future, good men or good women may have to enter mountain forests, cross over rivers, seas, or other large bodies of water, or take dangerous routes, either for the sake of earning their own livelihood, or for public or personal affairs, or matters of life and death, or other urgent business. Such people should first recite the name of Earth Store Bodhisattva a full 10,000 times. The ghosts and spirits of the lands they pass through will then guard and protect them in their walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. The peace and happiness of those people will constantly be preserved, so that even if they encounter tigers, wolves, lions, or any other harmful or poisonous creatures, they will not be harmed. The Buddha told, the contemplator of the world sounds Bodhisattva. Earth Store Bodhisattva has great affinities with beings in Jambudvipa. Hundreds of thousands of eons would not be time enough to describe the benefits derived by beings who see this Bodhisattva and hear his name. Therefore, contemplator of the world sounds Bodhisattva. You should use your spiritual powers to propagate this sutra, thus enabling beings in the Saha world to receive peace and happiness always, throughout hundreds of thousands of eons. At that time, the world-honored one spoke verses, saying, I observe that Earth Store's awesome spiritual strength could not be fully described, even in Ganges sands. Eons, seeing, hearing, beholding, and bowing to him, even once benefits people and gods in endless numbers of ways. Men and women, gods or dragons, who are near the end of their rewards, and on the verge of falling into evil paths, can, by sincerely taking refuge with this great being, have their lifespans lengthened, their offenses dissolved. Sometimes youngsters lose their kind and loving parents, and do not know what paths they took. Quite often lost brothers, sisters, and other kin were never known by their surviving relatives. If such people sculpt or paint this Bodhisattva's image, and then beseech, behold and bow to him intently, and if they hold his name in mind a full 3 weeks, the Bodhisattva may display a boundless body. He may reveal the realms where relatives were born, and even quickly free those in bad destinies. If those praying can sustain their initial resolve, crowns of heads may be rubbed, sagely predictions received. Since those determined to cultivate unsurpassed bodhi and escape the suffering here in the triple world have already discovered their great compassionate hearts, they should first behold and bow to this great being. Then every vow they make will soon be fulfilled, and no karmic obstructions will ever hinder or stop them. Some people may resolve to read the sutra texts, hoping to help those confused to reach the other shore. The vows they make are quite remarkable. Try as they may, they cannot remember what they read. Because of their karmic obstructions and delusions, those people cannot memorize the Mahayana Sutras. But they can offer scents and flowers to Earth Store. They can give him clothing, food, and other things they like. They can place pure water on an altar to the Bodhisattva and leave it there a day and night before they drink it. With diligent intent, they should abstain from pungent plants, alcohol, meat, improper sexual and false speech. For 3 weeks they should not kill or harm any creature, while being mindful of the name of that great being. Then suddenly in a dream, their vision may become boundless. Awakening, they may discover that they now have keen ears. From then on, once they hear the teachings of the sutras, they will never forget them throughout thousands of lives. How inconceivable this Bodhisattva is in helping people like that gain such wisdom. Beings may be impoverished, or plagued with disease. Their homes may be troubled, their relatives scattered. They may find no peace even in sleep or dreams. Their efforts may be thwarted, so that nothing goes their way. But if they earnestly behold and bow to Earth Store's image, all those evil situations will simply disappear. And even their dreams will be totally peaceful. Food and clothes will be ample. Spirits and ghosts protective. People may need to enter mountain forests, cross great seas, or go among venomous or evil birds and beasts, evil people, evil spirits, evil ghosts, and even evil winds, or put themselves in other distressing situations. They need only gaze in worship and make offerings to an image of the great being, Earth Store Bodhisattva. In response, all the evils in those mountain forests and on those vast seas will simply disappear. Contemplator of sounds, listen well to what I say. Earth Store Bodhisattva is an unending wonder. Hundreds of, thousands of eons is time too brief to describe fully the powers of this great being. If people can but hear the name Earth Store, and when seeing his image, revere him and bow in worship, and offer incense, flowers, clothing, food, and drink, those gifts will bring them hundreds of, thousands of joys. If they can dedicate such merit to the Dharma realm, they will become Buddhas, transcending birth and death.